question is that the grievances be noted, and I call the member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And while grievances are there, one of the grievances that I always have is that there isn't proper and full recognition of different parts of my community for the incredible amount of work that they do in supporting each other and contributing to build the better lives of the tens of thousands of people who live within the Goldstein electorate and across the cities of Bayside and the city of Glen Ira. And it only needs to look at some of the activities that have recently been conducted by many community-minded organisations and their efforts to voluntarily bring people together to build a better community that deserves full recognition and celebration. In fact, only last Friday night, I was at the Bayside night market at Sacred Heart Parish School in Sandringham, a local Catholic school not far from where I live. Unlike last year when they suffered under a deluge of rain for their important night market, this year it was a beautiful sunny evening which enabled parents to come together with children, family members and friends to celebrate the school and of course participate in a bit of commerce and relaxation. In fact, the night market included many stalls, particularly including lots of different artisans and parents who had small businesses selling their goods. In fact, there was 3 different stalls that sold candles, though only one sold candles that were made in the wonderful Goldstein electorate, so I have to give deference and support to them. But also, of course, the usual things like barbecues and opportunity for drinking and relaxation in a very pleasant environment. And I particularly want to thank and congratulate everybody who has been participants in that school, in the Sacred Heart Parish Schools community fair and Bayside night market, and particularly thanks to the principal of the school, Erin McDonald, who has never been afraid to come forward and raise her concerns to me about many community issues. She's particularly concerned about making sure that there's proper and equitable funding for her school, and it's something that we have worked upon, and she has raised, in fact, been provided the opportunity to raise directly with the Minister to make sure that we can make sure that schools in our community are still affordable for all people regardless of walk of life, and I share her concern. Similarly, on Friday night, we were fortunate to have the Beaumaris Art and Craft Show at the Beaumaris Primary School, and fortunately, we were very fortunate to have in participation the Minister for the Arts, Senator the Honourable Mitch Fifield, who came along to open this wonderful art and crafts exhibition, where local talented artists came along to show their latest works, and it was a great pleasure to be able to spend so much time with local artists and, of course, art enthusiasts from within the Bayside community for the work that's being produced by so many people. It was actually the inaugural art and craft show, and there were lots of works that were created just specifically for the show, as well as craft that was specifically made for the show. And particularly I want to thank the efforts of Jenny Dumont, who was the newly appointed coordinator of the first annual Beaumaris Arts and Crafts Show, and all I can say is I'm looking forward to next year, and also to Cheryl Skews, the principal of the Beaumaris Primary School where it was hosted, for being so supportive and providing the opportunity for the Minister and myself to come down last Friday evening and enjoy in their important works. That was followed, by the way, as part of a weekend of the day at Dalgety down in the Beaumaris Primary School, where they had their fete that following Sunday morning, with full of rides and things that excite people, perhaps slightly shorter than myself and younger than myself, but also gave the opportunity, of course, for many local small businesses and parents who have stalls to be able to show their wares as well. And I was particularly appreciative of the fact that you could walk around with a mug if you've got a coffee rather than having to get a disposable cup, because one of the great things about Beaumaris is it's a community of people who are conservation minded. I sometimes describe them sort of liberal conservationists, and I say that with affection. Because they care about their local community and their local amenity and making sure they take care of their natural environment, which is absolutely stunning. Similarly, we had over the weekend on Saturday morning St Paul's Primary School Fete Sunday morning I should say, St Paul's Primary School Fete, and the principal who was very kind in greeting me before she went off to the mass service, Catherine Tamislid, who provided the opportunity to show me around the fete and to see also directly the efforts of parents who are directly contributing to raise important money and resources for their school. It wasn't just the rides, of course. Like with the at the Beaumaris Primary School Fete, one of the critical things they had on offer was a cake stall, and some might say my waistline shows the fact that it was a very successful cake stall, but in fact the purchase of a gluten-free cake enabled me to take something further on to my in-laws later in the day. But this continues as part of a large pattern of unacknowledged work by the Goldstein community. Only a few months ago, I was in attendance at Gardenvale Primary School, where local school leaders had raised concerns that their flag had deteriorated to a point where they were no longer able to fly it. And I think everybody in this place would understand the importance of having a fully working, functioning Australian flag that you can be proud of, and that they hang as part of the start of every school week at their assembly while they sing the national anthem. And I'm particularly appreciative of Janine Hall, the assistant principal, and Mr Chant, the principal, who I've had the pleasure of being dunked with in a dunking machine at their fete only 12 months ago, to come down and present the children with a new flag and educate them about the importance of the Australian flag and why it's so critical to preserving the integrity and understanding of our nation and its enduring importance. Similarly, the efforts of Brighton Grammar School and local parents, particularly Eveline Jonah, who, as part of the Victorian Parents Council, recently hosted a mental health and wellbeing in the digital age seminar at Brighton Grammar School in their new health and wellbeing centre, which is a converted church just on the Brighton Grammar campus. And what we have is a school provided the opportunity to bring people together, and particularly parents, to educate them about how they can help their children in making sure they have well-being in the digital age, particularly around issues of online bullying and making sure that they can take care of themselves. Now, of course, Brighton Grammar has been consistently supportive of bringing people together to address exactly these types of issues. It's why they developed the Wellbeing Centre, to make sure that particularly young boys who are often at different or unique risks get the support and assistance they need to be able to live and grow up as mature adults who show respect to others. And I'd like to particularly acknowledge the leadership of Ross Featherston, who's the headmaster, and Ray Swan, each who have made an important contribution as part of a broader package of doing good work to bring the Goldstein community together. And similarly, finally,